Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys, and I've got some sandbox gameplay from the new test. All right, this is Blues Traveler NA from Clan WFST and his ELC Even 90. So, before we get into this, can you actually get a 279 early on the sandbox? I assume you can do all the missions. What? What? Or is it just available? I don't know how it works. You guys fill me in. You guys fill me in. Very strange. Anyway, there's a 279 early on the sandbox. I don't know what's happening here. I have no idea if you grind the missions or if somehow you can just get it or buy it or I don't know. That's bizarre. But we've got Blues Traveler. He is in his ELC Even 90, and we're gonna watch some pretty impressive stuff. Look at this. He just does a little run, gets some spotting on these guys. The other ELC Even 90 has gone into the bush. Or no, he's just raging at him. Here he comes. There's a guy raging across there. This guy's raging across. Holy cow, what is happening? Little auto aim, and Blues Trevor's trying to figure out, now how do I deal with it? There we go. That's how I deal with it. And then we try to get rid of him, and we get spotted. And we can't hit him. Oh boy, oh boy. Thank goodness nobody shot us. And the oh, there's two ELC Even 90s. I didn't realize that. There's two. There's probably a lot of shenanigans on the test server as far as setup goes. People playing all kinds of tanks that they wouldn't otherwise be able to play. Look at the 279 early. He just drives around the corner. He's like the Honey Badger. He doesn't care, although he takes a big hit from an HE shot of some kind. Now I want you to watch what's about to happen here. So a couple things about the server that are interesting that Blues Traveler brought up. The one is that there's more hit points on the board, right? Everything's getting kind of a hit point buff. Look at this guy just raging across in his T. I don't know. Maybe because it's a test server, people just feel like they can YOLO in. I don't know. There's a lot more hit points on the board. That's going to increase stats in a lot of ways. Spotting stats, there's more hit points to spot, are going to go up. Damage stats, and I would assume, are going to go up. That's going to cause a lot of issues with the current stats. It's going to make your overalls harder to read, harder to know anything about. Maybe that's not a problem. Maybe nobody cares. I don't know. But it is going to be a secondary. There are going to be many secondary and tertiary effects to if this goes through. All right, remember, this is a test, sandbox server, yada yada. How much of this stuff comes to the game, we don't know. I will have to say that I doubt very seriously Wargaming is going to spend this much time and effort and not bring some of it, if not all of it, to the game. Only in a couple cases has Wargaming ever really backed off of a big change that they had planned. It's not really their MO to spend a bunch of effort and time redesigning things and making new things and not use them. It's not really any company's MO. So I don't think we have nearly as much sway on this as some people might think. And if I was a betting man, I would say this is coming. Most of it, maybe not all of it, but the vast majority of it is coming whether you want it or not. And it would take a huge upswell of negative press to make it stop, and I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing people that like it. And I don't even know. So I'm not going down on one side or the other, so to speak, on this. But the idea that somehow it's going to be stopped, because a lot of people are coming out and saying, well, don't get your panties in a bunch yet. It's may not even come to the game. Well, I like the sentiment, but it's coming. There's no indication that they're just going to completely throw it in the crapper. People say, yeah, but Rubicon. Okay. There's your one example of a large thing that was changed. But guess what? A lot of that stuff came later anyway, in different forms. So don't, maybe not the best example either. He's up to 2,203 spotting damage. And I didn't mention it, but this is one of the things I love about these little scouts like this. And the Brit light tanks are a lot the same, because their camo is so high. He just drove across the field into this bush. There There was a Sturb. There was a Malshin. Granted, not great spotting range. The Sturb actually is there. At least I think he is, because he hasn't been spotted, but he will be spotted there later. So maybe he came in later. But there's an object, the Malshin, there's a T-50. There's all kinds of tanks hanging out back here. There's even a T-54, although he was down low over here. And Blues Traveler just drove across the field and got in this bush. That's what I love about these little, excuse me, what I love about these little light tanks. And this one was really the prototype for the British light tank gameplay. Just tiny little scouts that can sneak into the craziest places. And all of a sudden, these poor guys here, they really have no real good clue why they're being spotted every time they move. I mean, they know someone's spotting them, but they're not really sure how. There was a point, it may be coming up, where it already went past while I was talking, I'm not sure. There you go, the Sturb was spotted. The Malshin was actually looking, and I don't know if he was looking past Blues Traveler or someone behind, but it looked like he was looking right into that bush going, all right, somebody is close. There he goes, he's breaking cover. So it was a while ago. This guy just drives to his death. Man, I'd have been sorely tempted to take that shot up into the turret and make him go away. Although you're sitting with HE, which I'm not really sure why you're doing that. Is that heat or HE? I think it's HE. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess you were thinking counter scout or something, but this thing actually has pretty good APCR. That's what I'd have had loaded in this game. The 279 early just drives across. And how many hit points does he still have? 1/3. He's just basically been taking hit after hit. And then the Sturb decides it's time to run. Look at all the shots that go in at this guy. Gets missed by everybody right up to the end. Miss, stunned, slowed down a little bit. Okay, he's like, I got away. I'm going to make it. No, nope. No, not so much. Not so much. The last arty shot got stunned and slowed down. The second arty tracked him, and it was all over. So Blues Traveler decides to move in. We're at 5,931. Also, in addition to, and at the same time, my recent video talking about how campy the game is. Well, look at this one. Now, granted, it's Malinovka, right? It's known for campiness. This has been a problem not a problem, but a way of playing this game, this particular match, or this particular map, for a long time. There's always going to be people camping down at the cap, but there was a lot of people camping down at the cap from both sides on this one. But what I love about the little tanks like this, and that's kind of why this map works as far as a camping map goes, it's pretty wide open, and there are ways to peel the campers out. I think that's hugely important. That just bounces off that poor guy. He's not going to go through the front of a Suma. He hit him twice. Can you believe that? And the third one went through a piece. Oh my gosh, that was good stuff right there. But there are ways on maps that are open like this that aren't funnel maps to break open caps. And that's why these wider open maps are so much more fun. There is some terrain to kind of move around, but they're more or less open, and a lot of the map is useful. Now, that middle field's not really useful to anything but a tank like this. But still, there are plenty of funnel maps where there's almost nothing that's useful other than the few funnel areas that they want you to go through. So nice little shot right here, and ends up with the last kill. So 3 kills, 382 damage, 7,000 spotting. Now, I wish I had the mod that showed the total number of hit points, because I don't know what it was, but that's a pretty good result at 7,000 spotting. But you go, okay, great, we're going to have more hit points, we're going to get more spotting. But of course, the missions will be changed, so you'll need more spotting. So it's just a different number. That's all that's going to do. And it's going to skew all of the older numbers so that the averages aren't going to mean a whole bunch anymore. It's going to be really, if this goes through and the hit point pool changes and the damage for the shots changes and all those things with the ammo, if all that goes through, then there's going to be a point at which all that past stuff's not going to matter a whole bunch, and you're going to have to look at recents to really get a good idea of what's going on with the player. That's unfortunate. It really is. It's such a fundamental change to the game that, in my opinion, is unrequired. I'm struggling to get it, to be honest. Other than the fact that, yes, premium ammo needed to be changed, reworked. Personally, I would have nuked its penetration so that it wasn't so so much more than the standard ammo penetration. And then you could wicker armor a little bit there. That's more of a smaller incremental change. Vice this complete rework of add a bunch of hit points, change all the ammo around. The HE doesn't pen. It's more reliable but does less potentially. It's a lot, man. It's a lot all at once, and there's no way to know how it's going to affect the larger game meta. And I'm not even talking just the how you play a map meta or how you set up a tank meta. I'm talking just the gameplay enjoyment meta of the game. It really is probably going to be quite a new game in a lot of respects. The trades you can make, the way you can push, the way you play the game, larger hit point pools, some ammo's doing less, being able to bounce AP more reliable because people might try to use AP regular ammo instead of special because they don't want to do less damage. All of a sudden now I'm facing a super heavy. I need the pen, but I'm just going to take me forever to whittle through him. There's a lot of dynamics involved in that in player decisions that are going to change or be highly modified. Let's put it that way. Let's not say change because it's not just going to simply completely change overnight, but the decision making is going to be modified quite a bit more so than in the past changes if all of these things go through together. So it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, there you go. There's a little bit of sandbox gameplay from Blues Traveler NA and his ELC Even 90 on Malinovka. 7,000 spotting, 382. And that's it's a tier 10 battle, but it's a 3-tier, right? Tier 10's on top. He waded through a lot of hit points. Very interesting. All right, that's all I've got, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.